How are we doing today, everybody? I am back on this beautiful Friday with a team talk. Yes, a team talk that everybody has requested. I guess I can't say everybody, but let's just say a lot of people have requested. You guys want to know about the Verado, the Mercury Verado, and we're going to bring it to you right now in this team talk. Wait, I always do this, Jordan. You got to remind me to get this in earlier. Thank you for subscribing and doing what you're doing. Our numbers are going through the roof. They're on a climb. It's awesome. Merch stuff is still going. The comments is just out of this world. I can't explain it. Jordan and I sit down weekly and we're like, look at these numbers. It's great. You guys are rocking it. You're killing it. And I can't thank you more. Always subscribe, but let's get to it. Here we go. Team talk coming at you right now. Verado style. Boom. Here we go. All right. Mercury Verado. Who's got one? Raise your hand. No one's raising their hand here because we don't have a lot of them up here. But so what we're doing here, we're going to give you, it's a team talk, but it's more like an, I don't know, informational team talk, Jordan. It's more like information because I don't deal with a lot of them. I think we've dealt with 4 or 5, maybe 6 of them in our time here, but I got the info here. We went in, we did a lot of research for you guys. We did as much research as we can, and we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna start with the L4. The L4 Verado, it's a 1.7 liter intercooled supercharged 4-cylinder. So it's a supercharged 4-cylinder. And I think when we talk about the Verados, I think the reasoning behind it, and Jordan's a car guy, and he can you kind of get pulled in, don't you, Jordan?
Yeah.
A car guy gets pulled into the Verado because essentially it's as close to a car that we had right up to 7 Marine. I mean, right? Essentially, Toyota looking, you were saying, kind of. You know, there's a lot going on. So keep that in mind when we're talking about this, cars versus this, and you'll kind of see when we get through. So let's start it again. The L4 Verado is a 1.7 liter intercooled supercharged 4-cylinder. It's a 4-banger. Operating range for the RPMs is 5,800 to 6,400 RPMs. Now we're talking RPMs here. We're getting up there. The horsepower range is the 135 through the 200. So the 135, 150, 175, and 200. Those were your horsepower ranges in that. Unleaded 87 octane, 92 octane for max performance. So they wanted you to pour the higher octane in for max performance. I'm going back to the car thing there. You know what I mean? A little bit of ping. We don't want to put the 87 ping in. We want to go with the 92 go. Weight on a 20-inch shaft of 510 pounds. Pretty decent, you know, 510 pounds, not bad. Shaft length came in at 20 and a 25. No 30 on this, right? Just 20, 25, okay. Gear ratio is 2.08, 4.8 HD, heavy duty. We went heavy duty on this, Jordan? HD power? Yeah, gotcha. Here's the big bold print. No longer in production. It's gone. That was part of that original L4, L6, I think. There's some questions here, and I'm going to get to them right now. What are my thoughts on the 4-cylinder Verado? I think the platforming of the Verado in general, you can relate it to every single one of these. I believe it's a good motor. Is it great? No, but is it very good, reliable? Yes, it's a very good outboard. I saw very little problems with them, very little problems with them, and you just end up, guys that have them really like them. They enjoy them. I think everybody has always said they feel like they're pulled back, like the window's not open enough, where like we can get more out of it. And that's just my thoughts with the whole Verado platforming. So there's not like, and so when we talk about this, you can keep this in mind, that I feel that the Verado itself is just a good outboard. It's a really good, reliable outboard. All right, moving on to the L6 Pro 4-stroke, the L6. So we go from the 1.7 liter L4 to the 2.6 L6. Intercooled supercharged 6-cylinder. Operating range same, 58 to 6,400. 200, 250, and 300 options. 200, 250, 300. Okay. Unleaded 87 ping or the 92 octane. You can run them both. 635 pounds on the 20-inch shaft, which is a heavier motor. So we're gaining a little bit of weight here. Shaft length 20-25, no 30-inch in that motor. Gear ratio is identical. This is a different gear ratio, 1.85. 1.85 on this one with the 2.08 on the L4. This one also no longer in production. She gone. Kicked it to the curb. My thoughts on that, you know what my thoughts are on that. What's your thoughts of it on a bass boat? I was not a fan of it on a bass boat, and I think that's what happened to this motor. They did try to bring some bass guys into this when it first came out. I know there's some pros that ran it. B-Lat ran it, I know that. And there was other ones. I think maybe Fred Robanis ran it. And there was maybe 2 other ones, but there wasn't a lot. B-Lat talked about it, I think, in our last video a little bit about how he enjoyed the motor. He thought it was a good outboard.
Consistent.
It was very consistent. Yeah, it was very consistent with what he was doing, no matter the weight he put in it. And that's what people talk about. It doesn't matter what you do to the boat, like you put the extra weight in, they always seem to perform the same as they do light. But I think people will tell you the same thing that I said, that they just don't feel that, they feel there's more to get, and they just weren't getting it. I think that was the biggest problem with them. They went great on big walleye boats. Smooth, quiet, and it didn't matter. That boat does 60, you know what I mean? We got a bass boat that should be doing 70, that's doing 64, 65. You know, that's kind of, I think, why it didn't work in the bass boat world. We'll move on. Let's go to the next one. This is like a book today, Jordan. Jesus balls, guy, come on. The L6 Verado. Ready? Now we're at L6. L6. That was the Pro. This is the standard Verado. Standard Verado. 2.6 intercooled, supercharged 6. Operating range is the same, 58 to 6400, 200, 225, 250, 275, and 300. So we're gaining horsepower range in this outboard. So we went from just a set of 3, now we got 5. 635 pounds to the 635, 20-inch shaft, and 25 and 30. So you do get the 30-inch shaft on this model also. So that's pretty good. All right, so here we go. Now we got different gear ratios. We go to the 175 and the 185 and the 544. So we got different gear ratios there. And I think they're trying to build it's going to work on any boat type of thing. And I think that was their big thing. I think they're running into them issues, like it's not performing on this boat. It won't perform on this boat. And they got that. When people started building 4-strokes, that's what they had to do to make them work. It just wasn't as easy, I think, as they thought it was going to be turnkey. It's going to work on this one, and then it should be fine. Well, it doesn't work. We still run into that today. You know, we take certain outboards and we take them and repower them, and it takes me 3 days to set the thing up. You know what I mean? We can't get it perfect right away. It just takes a long time. It's not the same deal. No longer in production with the L6 standard Verado. No longer. Gone. Kicked to the curb. Done. And did we see any reasoning behind why they quit production? I think it was just all new production. I think they got newer, better, badder, faster, whatever. I think they just kicked the old ones away. It's kind of a Mercury thing, actually. Just get rid of the old and bring in the new, which, if it's good for the consumer, great, let's do it. What are my thoughts on that? I think, like I said before, the Verado itself was a great platform. I think it was a very, very good outboard. This Verado here, they were not hard to work on either. Cowling, 3-piece cowling, any mechanic that's watching knows that this comes off, this comes off, this comes off, and there it is. It's right there to work on. I think they're very simple to work on. They were mechanically, for a mechanic to work on, you didn't get that high lower cowling that was in the way. They thought of removing that to get to everything. So I mean, it was very, very good to work on. Moving on, the L6 Verado 350, 2.6 liter intercooled supercharged 6. Operating range is identical, 58 to 6400, 350 horse, just a 350 horsepower. Unleaded 87 ping, and the 92 octane, of course, for max performance. 668 pounds, so we're getting a little bit heavier here. We got a little bit heavier, 20-inch shaft weight. So that's the weight of the 20-inch shaft versus the 635 with the standard Verado on a 20-inch shaft. They came with the 20, 25, and 30-inch shaft, so you could get multiple shaft lengths on that. Gear ratio was the 175 or the 5.44. They are still in production today. They're still selling them. The 350 is a very, very popular Verado for them. I know I think it was extremely popular up till the 400 time, but I think the 350 was definitely like, I need that when it came to offshore for sure. I think they were really, really, really sought after when it came to that. Thoughts on that motor? I don't see the 350, but from what I've read and what I've heard and the responses I get back when I get questioning about the 350, I do always comment back. So what's your thoughts on that? And I think everybody that's got one is pretty satisfied with them. You know, I don't think a lot of them went to the bin for blow-ups or, you know, lean-outs or any of that stuff. I think they're a very good motor if they are maintained. There was a couple guys that bought them from down in Florida, brought them here. Bad deal because they're stuck together. But they literally ran perfectly. They were old as shit, and they had a bunch of hours on them, and they still ran perfectly. It was crazy. They didn't come apart, but they ran really good. L6 400R, now we're talking. The 2.6 liter intercooled supercharged 6, reworked head and cam pistons and superchargers. So they reworked everything, probably from the 350 to get this to the 400. So they did a lot of reworking on that. Operating range, now we're talking here, 6,400 to 7,000 RPMs. I mean, we are spinning some stuff. I mean, you're talking serious stuff here. 400 RPM or 400 horsepower, 91 octane only. No 87 ping. 87 ping, motor goes bing, gone. See you. 668 pounds with a 20-inch shaft. The shaft lengths were 20, 25, and 30. Gear ratio is 1.75 Sportmaster or the 544A heavy duty. So 2 gear cases, obviously for performance reasons. You know, you got to be able to perform on any size boat that we're putting this thing on. This is a machine here, 400R. It is no longer in production. That L6 Verado 400 is no longer in production. We keep going back to the what's my thoughts on it. Like I'm gonna say, it was a good motor. I didn't see any of these, so I guarantee there's some guys on here that had them. Tell me about them, talk to me about them. I didn't see any of these, but the reviews are good, are they not, Jordan? I mean, people talk really good of this motor. I just think you'll see why we get to going away here pretty soon. So let's move on. Now we're getting into the V8 Verado. It's a 250-300, 4.6 liter V8. So this is our first 8. This is the first time we've seen the 8. Operating range is 5,200 to 6,000 RPMs, 250 and 300 horse. Unleaded 87 ping or 92, put what you want into it, make sure she goes. 600 pounds, so we are lightening the load here. They really pulled back on the weight. No, they really pulled back on the weight. 20-inch shaft, that's on the 20-inch. They made the 20, 25, and 30. Gear case ratio is a 175 to 185, so we got rid of the big HD stuff. We just went with the 175, 185. This motor is still in production today. You can buy this motor today. I think it works. It works on a lot of boats. I think when it comes down to it, there's a lot of boats just running this. There's pontoons, I think, running this motor. There's a lot of walleye boats running this motor. And you're not going to see it in the bass. I don't think you're going to see that in the bass. All right, that brings us to our final page. Yeah, here we go. This is the one everybody's been waiting for. The V12 Verado. V12. 600 horse. You ready? Hang on, she's a hefty one. 7.6 liter V12. 7.6 liters of fun, V12. Operating range, 56 to 6,400. It's 600 horsepower. Unleaded, 87 octane only.
Rated for that.
It's rated?
Yeah, you can run 87 in it.
You can. Okay. All right, we can run 87 in it. 1,260 pounds of weight. I think you were talking that your car weighs like 2,400, Jordan?
2850.
2850. And I think, wasn't Jason telling us about a Volkswagen Bug weighing like 1,800? Like the whole car? Like a Volkswagen Bug weighs 1,800 pounds. This is a 600 horsepower outboard that weighs, well, let's just say 1,300 pounds. Because I'm sure Mercury didn't put oil in it. It's a machine. It's ginormous. I have physically never worked on one, but it is huge. Gear case is a 2.50 with 2-speed transmission and counter rotating props. That son shifts gears. She'd get up and go. So she's got 2. It's new, it's in production. I think they're selling a ton of them. How much were they?
77 maybe?
I'm gonna go 80. Let's just say 80 today. They're like 80K. My thoughts on the V12, I don't necessarily like it. It's not for what I do. I'm never gonna be part of that V12 era. It's too big, it's too bulky, but it's perfect for the offshore people, I believe. I believe it's their dream outboard. It's exactly what they wanted. Mercury listened and they did it. They did it that way for a reason. You know, Mercury, they were competing with 7 Marine at that point. Agree?
Fire and hole! Fire
and hole. Cut! And we're back. All right, so I believe they're competing with 7 Marine. 7 Marine was producing a very good product. They were quick. They were good motors. They were bought by 7 Marine, was purchased by Volvo, and I don't know what's happening with it now. I haven't heard much from 7 Marine in a long time, but I believe this was the direct competitor to that motor. I don't think anybody else was going to compete, and Mercury came up to bat, and they did this because I think they were losing some Mercury pull, and the 7 Marine built this, and it was like, we got to compete with that. And I think this was their direct competition for 7 Marine. But I believe this, like I said, this is the dream of an offshore person. This thing is like, for them giant, humongous offshore boats, 3 of those on the back at $200,000, $300,000, you got yourself a machine. I'm not a fan of it, so that's just where I'm going to leave that Verado. That Verado, I'm not a fan of. So, don't mind the siren. Neil just got hit on the tractor. That's probably what happened. So let's give a quick rundown. Can I go right back? I'm just going to go back through them. The L4 Verado was a 1.7 liter supercharged 4-cylinder, not in production no more. The L6 Pro 4-stroke 2.6 liter intercooled supercharged 6, it is no longer in production. It's gone. The L6 Verado with a 2.6 intercooled supercharged 6, 200 through 300, big broad range of horsepower there, no longer in production. The L6 Verado 350, 2.6 liter supercharged 6, 350 horse only. It's still in production, and I still think it's probably one of their better selling Verados to this day. The V6 Verado 400R, this is the beast. It didn't make the cut. It's gone. It's 2.6 liter 6. It goes 7,000 RPMs. It's going places. Let's just put it that way. But it is no longer. It's gone. The V8 Verado 250, probably the most popular Verado. The 250 is the V8, I would say. Still in production. It's a 4.6 liter V8. Goes 6,000 RPMs max, 250 and 300 horse. That's what that is. And then we go to the Verado V12, 600 horse, the giant. It's like the biggest thing you could ever think of. 600 horsepower, operating range of 56,400. It is brand new. It's in production. And I think they're selling a ton of them. That is your Verado complete mix-up in a matter of I don't know how long, but that was a lot of stuff for me to get through. My opinion on the Verado is a good outboard. Is it for me? No. Is it for the right person? Yes, the walleye person, the offshore people. I believe probably some pontoon people, but not with the new Pro XS that came out. It's probably, is it dated? Probably not, because it's so reliable. You know what I mean? It's so reliable. I don't think it's dated. Let's just say that's their motor to compete with the Japanese. I believe when it comes to just recreation, consistent reliability, the Verado is that outboard. So do I think it's a good outboard? Yeah. Have I worked on a lot? No. Is that good for people? Yeah, because I don't see them a lot. I don't have to work on them. They work. So that's my deal. That's my Mercury Verado video, and I hope you got what you needed. You guys wanted it. We gave it to you. It's a book. It's over with. But I think price-wise, these were pretty high priced, were they not, Jordan?
Yeah.
I mean, they were priced pretty high from the beginning. I think that was sticker shock with some of that deal, but some people just did them. They just did it because it was the 4-stroke and they thought it was the future. So yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I got. What do you got? One? What's one?
You can still buy the 400R.
You can. It is in production.
Yep.
Oh, well, let's do that then. I was wondering why they would get rid of that motor, because that is the beast of all beasts. Did they have the 300R too? They did, didn't they? That is gone.
That one's
But
gone.
yeah,
They
but
had a-
that was not.
they
That
had-
wasn't a Verado platform though. I don't think, was it?
I'm not sure. They had a 350R.
Yeah.
That's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, but the 400R is in production. We correct ourselves. It is in production. Our magic guy over on the computer just yelled at us and said, "Hey, I got stuff here." So we do have production on the 400R. Because I was like, how can that not be in production? That's a big seller for them. I mean, that's on every offshore racing boat around. You know, that's what they used. There's skaters with these things on. There's a lot of offshore boats that go really fast and they get in there and cruise with their 400Rs. So yeah, I can see why that thing is still in production. It needs to be in production. So yeah, there you go. If I had to pick one, that's the one I'd pick. I would run a 400R Verado. Does that answer your question, George? Because I knew you were going to ask that. If I had to pick one, that was one I'd do, a 400R for sure. That's the one I'd want. So that's it. I'm done. That is it. My Verado video is over. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for all that you guys have done, shooting us up the ladder, getting us what we need, keeping us informed. The last video about the Yamaha was great. There was a lot of information that came in. Make sure we're commenting about your Verado experience. If you have one, put it down. Tell us what you got so that everybody else can see it. Right, Jordan? That's what we want. And we're at that point. It's over with. We are done. I'm going home. It's the end of the day. So, one more thing. One more quick thing, Jordan. I got a lot of people trying to hit me up on Facebook. There's a ton of Facebook. I don't get to them, guys, okay? That's flat out. I don't really get to them. I apologize. We get to what we can get to. If you really need me to answer something, go to the website, right, Jordan? Click Ask a Tech, donate. All the donation money will go back to my community. It'll either go to education, it'll go to the youth, it'll go to vets, and we'll let you know where that money is being spent. We usually do it around the holiday season or during the winter. So we will make sure that you know about your donations. we don't keep that. We give all that back to the community. All right, so that's what we want. So if you need me, we got kind of in a tussle last night with a guy, and I was just like, you need to go there and just donate. If you donate $20, we will get back to you in 48 hours. Sometimes it's not. It takes us a little longer. I do have a shop to run. Okay, I do wrench. People don't realize I do wrench. So it does take us a little longer, but Jordan does put them on my desk. Trust me, he does put them on my desk. So that's where we're at. Make sure you get over there and donate. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate you buying my merch. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I appreciate you. And as always, we hope that you enjoy what we do. And if you don't like it, don't be afraid to comment, right, Jordan? We can always be better.
Yeah.
We can always be better. As always, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell to witness the madness. Probably the Mercury Verado people are probably going to say, speed, money, no brakes. I'm out. See ya.